Yo, people, it's Jeff here again. Tonight we're just sharing late night thoughts, to be honest. For the past couple of days, I have been wondering or pondering on a question, really, and that is, who am I? No, I have been a trainer for over 8 years. I've always been involved in fitness since the time I was 12. At one point in my life, I was a sports massage therapist for a team that I used to travel the world with for about 2 years. And at each point, I was Jeff, the trainer, or when I used to compete, I was Jeff, the bodybuilder, or I was Jeff, the therapist for that particular team. Then it was Jeff, the entrepreneur. And I find recently I've been wondering, like, do these roles really define who I am? And the more I think about it, the more I don't think so. I started to come to the realization that these are labels that have been placed on me, or I placed on myself based on what I do, but that doesn't really define who I am. Which leads me to ask whether, if I remove those labels, then who am I? And I think that's how many people kind of identify themselves based on what they do. Maybe they may be an athlete, or they may fulfill a certain position in their job which gives them a certain level of esteem. Maybe you seek some sort of identity from your family, but if you remove all of those labels, who are you as an individual? And I think that is kind of empowering, really. Like, if you're able to remove those labels, you can apply a different label if you wanted to. At any point in time, you can recreate yourself. You can recreate your reality to shape how you want it to be. Now, I've been in different positions in my life where I had to adjust to things drastically. Like, I either unexpectedly went broke. I'll never forget that day when I had literally less than $1 in my bank account at the age of 19 years old. I remember when I unexpectedly got sick. And I remember, like, coming to the thought, like, this is where my life could end. And I have not accomplished anything that I thought I was capable of. And I remember I might not have necessarily understood what I did then, but I recreated myself after that incident. And then I'm wondering if now I'm thinking about it again because I've reached another crossroads. During the pandemic, I've been forced to think about, different what if scenarios, just like I was before. Each of those points was a what if scenario, or you've hit the end of the road type scenario, something you are forced to face. And I am feeling like in that same mindset. I'm not in the same position, as in, I have a lot more flexibility and a lot more awareness and a lot more maturity going for me, so I'm able to adapt a little faster. But it made me really reflect and think on that specific point again. Who am I? Have you ever thought about that? Who are you? If you remove the label of you are a mother, or you are a father, or you are an employee of this organization, or you are an athlete for this team, an athlete in this event, remove all of those labels, who would you be at the end of it? And I remember recently, it's either a story I came across or a video that I watched, where this guy was talking about his experience as a soldier in the army. I think it was the British Army for 9 years, and all he could think about during that time was, after I've served my time, how free I'm going to be. That's all he could think about, his freedom. And how his life was going to be so different, and how he would be able to do so many things. And when he handed in his badge, when he was making his exit, he didn't realize he was handing him much more than just his soldier ID. He was actually also handing him his real identification. So he said that when he left the army, he felt lost. Like he no longer knew who he was, because for so many years he identified as being a soldier. And after that, he talked about how he fell into depression and how he lost his way because he no longer had that direction that was guided by the label that he had conformed to and therefore accepted. And therefore it kind of gave the label a power over him. The same way any particular labels you or I might be given over ourselves. So I've been pondering on that a lot recently. Who am I? Not like from a like if I'm in a place where I'm depressed or I don't know where I'm going, not in that sort of position, but just a realization that I've been thinking of myself in accordance with certain labels, like as an entrepreneur, as a trainer, as a massage therapist. And I'm studying a course right now called life coaching. I've always wanted to have the combination of all of those, because human behavior and psychology has always intrigued me from the time I was in university, around the same age, 19, when I began to ponder on different things. So not in an attempt to label myself as something else, but it's just another role I was looking to fulfill. But then in the process of doing that, it started to occur to me that I would be falling into the same trap. Is it that I'm seeking to label myself as something else? No, or this is just an additional role I am adding on to my current repertoire. And to be honest, identifying that thought alone, I believe, has given me a lot more awareness and a lot more power over the situation. Like, I'm able to recreate myself at any given point to who I want to be. And it's kind of freeing and exciting at the same time. Like, despite the outcome of all that is going on right now in the outside world, where everybody's being forced to face harsh realities depending on, their position in life, their job, how their company is reacting, bills that might have them under pressure. A lot of people might be struggling at this point in time. People that live right next door to you might be dealing with their very own struggles and feeling alone, even though you are 20 feet away. A lot of people might be struggling with the fact that they may have been laid off and are now trying to find a new identity. They can no longer identify with that position. And that might have some persons in fear. I know that has some persons in fear of talk with people. But if you understand that your role does not define who you are, then it gives you that knowledge and that freedom that you can always redefine yourself. You are not that job position. That is merely a role you are taking on. You can redefine or take on a different role tomorrow if you wanted to. You could start working for yourself immediately. All you have to do is identify a plan. So ask yourself the question, who are you without all the other things you currently have influencing you? If you didn't identify yourself as just a parent or just an employee of a company or like me, a business owner or a trainer or a therapist, a coach, a friend, who are you at your core? And what impact would that have on yourself once you recognize it, and others, the people around you? What impact do you have on them? How can you impact them? What do you have to offer? I don't have all the answers, but I've been thinking on it for about the last 2 days since that question popped in my mind. I can't even remember why it popped in my mind, but I thought I would share with you and possibly see what answers y'all can come up with, because who knows, maybe in this instance you can help me or we can spark a discussion that could be beneficial to all. But this wasn't really a video with an end in mind. It was more of an open-ended question. Who are you? That's currently the question I'm asking myself. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my thoughts. Feel free to share any question, any answers that you come up with. I would be interested to hear it.